Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. Some fight. A lot of surprises. A lot of people are probably surprised at Jack Catterall's performance, including me. Listen, I'm one of the guys that told you Catterall, for me, was solid. I thought he was pretty good. I just didn't think that he did anything better than Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor has had a sparkling career thus far. That World Boxing Super Series really put him on the map. Undefeated, undisputed. That win over Jose Ramirez really elevated him. I'll tell you, it was hard to pick against Josh Taylor in this fight. But for me, this fight against Jack Catterall, the wrong guy won the fight. I thought the judges got it wrong. I thought Jack Catterall won this fight. And that's coming from a guy like myself who thinks a lot of Josh Taylor. I rate Josh Taylor a lot, but this was not his night. Let me tell you something. He was a bit anxious. Sometimes I think when you're home, you get a bit anxious. You get a bit you want to impress the crowd so much. I think that's what ended up happening. Really, he was coming forward, no head movement, and just walking into shots. I thought Catterall was really clever, using that southpaw jab, using the simple 1-2s. He fought it very simple, but in the end, he was using something against Josh Taylor's aggression, where Taylor was just coming forward and walking into jabs and walking into 1-2s, especially in the early part of the fight. And then when Taylor would get too close, Catterall was doing something very clever, where he would just bend, shove up and bend, and get inside. And that was causing Taylor to run out of room, smother himself, because by the opposite end, he's over-pursuing. Here's the thing. It's almost like they prepared very well for this, because let me tell you something. If Taylor would have been using his right hook a little bit more, you're going to end up turning Catterall back around. And if you end up turning Catterall back around, you're going to be able to use your jab more effectively and use your left hand more effectively. But Catterall, as soon as Taylor would get close, Catterall, if you notice, Catterall was already starting to bend, even before Taylor started making his move, because he already knew he just has to bend down, and Taylor will over-pursue and come inside. All he's using is really the jab and the left hand. Some short right hooks, but they weren't enough really to deter Catterall's game plan of just dipping inside. I thought the referee got some stuff wrong. I thought he saw something over-officiated a little bit. Really, I didn't understand why Catterall lost the point. I do understand why Taylor lost the point, though. I saw the ESPN announcers sort of make a stink about that, but you can't hit the guy after the bell. That wasn't a love tap. That was a shot right to the solar plexus. Catterall turned around and reacted, but nonetheless, that was an intentful, purposeful shot after the bell. You can make it like it's playful, but a shot right to your solar plexus when you're not expecting it, and at the end of the 11th round, that doesn't feel well. Okay, so I think I credit the referee actually for taking the point away, because that couldn't have been easy. I thought he was a bit too stringent in taking away the point from Catterall, but he did the job with when he took the point away from Taylor. In the end, I didn't think the judges got it right. I thought Catterall was effective. I thought even in the late rounds, maybe 12, Josh Taylor won the fight, but even around the 11, I saw Andre Ward give him the round, but I didn't think Taylor really landed anything around 11. He was pursuing, sure, but you don't really get credit for coming forward without landing anything specific. Catterall again kept it simple, little short jabs, sharp jabs, moving around, sharp defense, smart ring generalship. Taylor, for me, was too over-anxious. It's almost like he thought he'd won the fight, and this was like a welcoming party for him, even before the fight happened. I don't want to say that he didn't have a game plan, but it seemed to me like he looked at this fight like this was a celebration more than a fight. A homecoming, and people were just ready for him to just wait for their crowning king, so to speak. And he thought the victory was a foregone conclusion without having to fight the fight. And Catterall's a hungry guy. Listen, I hope we get to see Catterall again. I would love to see a rematch personally. I hate to see decisions like this. And again, this is coming from a person, myself, who really rated Josh Taylor a lot. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Jack Catterall's performance was impressive. He didn't do anything, again, just like I said before the fight, he doesn't do anything really that wows you. But he was very smart in there. Again, he used the simplest forms of attack, and most importantly, he took Taylor's aggression, Taylor's over-anxiety, over-anxiousness. Maybe Taylor felt too much pressure from wanting to impress the crowd and wanting to impress the hometown crowd. Listen, I can kind of understand that. I mean, let's face it, Taylor didn't even have a TV fight in the Jose Ramirez fight in Scotland. I mean, the UK didn't even buy the fight, which absolutely blows me away. So he was probably so looking forward to this that he almost got inside his own head. But you can't take away credit from Jack Catterall. That performance was brilliant. For me, he's supposed to be the undisputed super lightweight world champion right now. I hope to see him again, and I think it would be an interesting rematch. What does Taylor do, though? Does Taylor move up in weight from now? Does he remain around and do the rematch, or does he stick around and possibly wait for Teofimo Lopez to come up in weight, or whatnot? I know he was kind of slagging Lopez a little bit before the fight, but now he's coming off of his own questionable performance. Could the weight have something to do with with maybe not performing as well, who knows? But again, every time I say something like this, I don't want it to make like it's an excuse, because I can't express how impressed I was with Jack Catterall and how much credit he deserves. For me, he deserves to be the undisputed super lightweight world champion right now. I hope he gets his rematch. Personally, from my perspective, that's what I want to see next. I know even if Taylor maybe has to struggle to make the weight, I'd like to see them get it right and do another one. And who knows, maybe Taylor adjusts and fights better. Honestly, I thought the one big adjustment Taylor needed to make was that right hook. Because here, you got Catterall locking up, you got Catterall dipping constantly. If all you've got to do is start throwing your hook from here, and you can even repeat it. That's what it's really very simple. You're the opposite stance. You just come and repeat these hooks. You got a guy coming from here. He can't bend anymore. You start with your hooks, he can't bend anymore. You're gonna end up keeping him up. Then he's gonna start questioning himself. You're gonna end up making him square up, and then you can go back to your jab and left hand. Listen, Taylor's got a sharp jab and a sharp left hand, but you just couldn't see it, because Catterall already was prepared for those two shots. You could see he was willing to give the right hook to Taylor, and Taylor still didn't really take it the way he should have. You know, that's how prepared he was, that he almost as if he knew that Taylor wasn't going to use that right hook. I think that's a key adjustment if they do the rematch. But nonetheless, the anxiety of Taylor, Catterall worked it brilliantly. Great jab, sharp boxing on the part of Jack Catterall. That's my breakdown of the Taylor versus Catterall undisputed super lightweight world title fight. I'm Paulie Malignaggi for Paulie TV. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this fight.